Exodus chapter 4. And Moses answers and says, And if they do not give credence to me, nor listen to my voice, and say, Yahweh has not appeared to you? And Yahweh says to him, What is this in your hand? And he says, A rod. And he says, Cast it to the earth. And he casts it to the earth, and it becomes a serpent. And Moses flees from its presence. And Yahweh says to Moses, Put forth your hand, and lay hold on the tail of it. And he puts forth his hand, and lays hold on it, and it becomes a rod in his hand, so that they believe that Yahweh, God of their fathers, has appeared to you, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob. And Yahweh says to him again, Now put your hand in your bosom. And he puts his hand into his bosom, and he brings it out, and behold, his hand is leprous as snow. And he says, Put your hand back into your bosom. And he puts his hand back into his bosom, and he brings it out from his bosom, and behold, it has turned back as his flesh. And it has come to pass, if they do not give credence to you, and do not listen to the voice of the first sign, that they have given credence to the voice of the latter sign. And it has come to pass, if they do not give credence even to these two signs, nor listen to your voice, that you have taken of the waters of the river, and have poured it on the dry land, and the waters which you take from the river have been, indeed, they have become blood on the dry land. And Moses says to Yahweh, O my Lord, I am not a man of words, either yesterday or before, or since you are speaking to your servant, for I am slow of mouth and slow of tongue. And Yahweh says to him, Who appointed a mouth for man? Or who appoints the mute or deaf, or open or blind? Is it not I, Yahweh? And now go, and I am with your mouth, and have directed you that which you speak. And he says, O my Lord, please send by the hand of another that you send. And the anger of Yahweh burns against Moses, and he says, Is Aaron the Levite not your brother? I have known that he speaks well, and also, behold, he is coming out to meet you. When he has seen you, then he has rejoiced in his heart, and you have spoken to him, and have set the words in his mouth. And I am with your mouth and with his mouth, and have directed you that which you do. And he has spoken to the people for you. And it has come to pass, he is to you for a mouth, and you are to him for God. And you take this rod in your hand, with which you do the signs. And Moses goes and turns back to his father-in-law Jethro, and says to him, Please let me go, and I return to my brothers who are in Egypt, and I see whether they are yet alive. And Jethro says to Moses, Go in peace. And Yahweh says to Moses in Midian, Go, return to Egypt, for all the men who seek your life have died. And Moses takes his wife and his sons, and causes them to ride on the donkey, and turns back to the land of Egypt. And Moses takes the rod of God in his hand, and Yahweh says to Moses, And you're going to return to Egypt? See, all the wonders which I have put in your hand, that you have done them before Pharaoh. And I strengthen his heart, and he does not send the people away. And you have said to Pharaoh, Thus said Yahweh, My son, my firstborn is Israel. And I say to you, Send my son away, and he serves me. And if you refuse to send him away, behold, I am slaying your son, your firstborn. And it comes to pass in the way, in a lodging place, that Yahweh meets him, and seeks to put him to death. And Zipporah takes a flint, and cuts off the foreskin of her son, and causes it to touch his feet, and says, You are surely a bridegroom of blood to me. And he desists from him. And then she said, A bridegroom of blood, in reference to the circumcision. And Yahweh says to Aaron, Go into the wilderness to meet Moses. And he goes and meets him on the mountain of God, and kisses him. And Moses declares to Aaron all the words of Yahweh with which he has sent him, and all the signs with which he has charged him. And Moses goes, Aaron also, and they gather all the elderly of the sons of Israel. And Aaron speaks all the words which Yahweh has spoken to Moses, and does the signs before the eyes of the people. And the people believe when they hear that Yahweh has looked after the sons of Israel, and that he has seen their affliction, and they bow and pay respect.